There is a chemical substance that only requires a microscopic amount before it can profoundly alter the way your brain constructs reality itself. Under the influence of this substance, sounds may appear visual, time may seem to slow down, emotions may become dramatically amplified, and for some individuals, even their sense of self can begin to dissolve. And that substance is LSD, often referred to as acid. So how does such a tiny amount of LSD create such profound changes in perception, emotion, and consciousness? Well, today, we're going to answer that question by taking a look inside the human brain. We'll also talk about why some people can have good trips and bad trips. We'll talk about if it can be dangerous, and discuss if LSD can be used in the treatment of certain conditions like depression, anxiety, addiction, and even PTSD. It's going to be a psychedelic one. So let's jump into this anatomical and physiological awesomeness. So before we begin, it's important to mention that LSD is currently classified as a Schedule I drug here in the United States, meaning the manufacturing, possession, and distribution of the substance is illegal outside of approved research settings. And so this video is strictly for educational purposes and to discuss both the risks and potential therapeutic interests surrounding the drug. So with that being said, LSD stands for lysergic acid diethylamide and was first synthesized in 1938 by Swiss chemist Albert Hofmann while researching compounds derived from ergot fungus, which grows on rye plants. Hofmann was initially studying the potential medical uses of ergot compounds because many of them can strongly affect the nervous system and the cardiovascular system. However, several years later, Hofmann accidentally absorbed a small amount of LSD and discovered that this compound had extremely powerful hallucinogenic effects. He later intentionally consumed LSD again in 1943 during what would become one of the most famous drug experiences in history. Now, one of the fascinating things about LSD is just how unbelievably potent it is. Doses are measured in micrograms, not the typical milligrams that many of us are used to taking with many of the over-the-counter medications. A microgram is a millionth of a gram. For perspective, a standard dose of LSD is so small that it can fit onto a tiny square of blotter paper. Yet, despite that tiny amount, LSD can profoundly alter the way the brain processes sensory information, emotions, memory, and even the perception of reality itself. LSD is colorless, odorless, and usually tasteless. It's most commonly consumed orally through blotter paper, but also through liquid drops, tablets, capsules, or sugar cubes. If LSD is absorbed through the mucous membranes of the oral cavity or the mouth, it can enter the bloodstream relatively quickly. If swallowed, much of it is absorbed through the small intestine that you can see here on this cadaver dissection before traveling through the bloodstream and going to the liver. Then it will enter systemic circulation where it eventually will reach the brain. But to understand LSD, we first need to talk about one of the most important neurotransmitters in the human brain called serotonin. Serotonin helps regulate an enormous range of physiological and psychological functions, including mood, sleep, appetite, emotional regulation, sensory processing, learning, memory, social behavior, and even sexual function. Serotonin exerts its effects by binding to receptors throughout the body called serotonin receptors, or 5-HT receptors. These receptors are located throughout multiple tissues, including the digestive system, blood vessels, heart, and especially in the brain. LSD is able to bind to many of these serotonin receptors, but the receptor most strongly associated with LSD's hallucinogenic effects is known as the 5-HT2A receptor. These receptors are densely concentrated in areas of the brain involved with higher level cognition, emotion, perception, and sensory integration. Areas such as the cerebral cortex, prefrontal cortex, hypothalamus, and amygdala all contain high concentrations of these receptors. And this is important because these are the very regions that help create your conscious experience of reality. Now, one of the most important concepts for understanding LSD is that your brain is constantly filtering sensory information. At every moment, your nervous system is receiving enormous amounts of incoming stimuli, including sounds, visual information, touch, emotions, memories, and internal body sensations. If your brain consciously tried to process every single piece of incoming information at full intensity all the time, it would likely become overwhelming very quickly. So your brain is incredible at filtering information. It prioritizes certain signals while suppressing others. For example, Can you feel the clothing you are wearing right now? If you're not currently wearing anything, this won't really work for you, and it's certainly your business if you choose to consume online content while in the nude, but for you clothing wearers, or you current clothing wearers, you probably didn't consciously feel your clothes until I mentioned it, because your brain deprioritized that sensation out of your conscious awareness, because it wasn't a priority. But current research suggests that LSD may disrupt parts of this filtering system, causing the brain to process sensory information in unusual and intensified ways. This is where many of the classic hallucinogenic effects begin to emerge. Visual processing may become dramatically altered, causing colors to appear more vivid, surfaces to appear as though they are moving or breathing, and patterns to become amplified. Some individuals experience what is known as synesthesia, which is essentially a blending of the senses. Sounds may appear visual, colors may seem to have an emotional quality, music may feel physically immersive. And while researchers are still working to fully understand these effects, it appears that LSD increases communication between brain regions that don't normally communicate with each other so intensely. In other words, brain networks that are normally compartmentalized begin interacting in highly unusual ways. Now, I'm assuming that most of you watching this video are interested in your health. So let me quickly show you a tool that can give you incredible insights about your body, and that is the Hume Health Body Pod. One of the mistakes people can make when tracking their health is relying on a single number, like body weight, because your weight might go down, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're losing fat. You could be losing muscle or even just water. Like, I've personally lost over 5 pounds during some of my longer runs, which is why I've used the Body Pod to track things like hydration. The Body Pod is a clinical grade body analyzer and not just a bathroom scale. It uses bioelectrical impedance analysis to measure body fat percentage, skeletal muscle mass, hydration levels, and more. But what makes it especially useful is that it shows how those things are distributed throughout your body, like visceral versus subcutaneous fat, or how muscle is distributed between your trunk and limbs, and even the difference between right and left sides. And that kind of feedback is incredibly valuable, because when you track these numbers over time, you can actually see whether what you're doing is working, or if you need to make adjustments. It's also about 98% as accurate as a DEXA scan, and when I compared it to lab-based testing, the results were nearly identical. So I've been using it consistently for months now and tracking everything in the app. And as a bonus, it's HSA and FSA eligible. So if you want to learn more about your body composition beyond just your weight, click the link in the description and use our code, The Anatomy Lab, which will be active for the next 7 days so that you can get 20% off. And that discount stacks on top of their current sale for up to 50% off. And now, let's get back to LSD. LSD can also profoundly alter emotional processing. The amygdala, which plays a major role in fear, emotional salience, and memory, appears to be heavily involved in the psychedelic experience. Emotions can become dramatically amplified. Positive emotions may feel euphoric and deeply meaningful, while negative emotions can spiral into anxiety, panic, or paranoia. Time perception can also become distorted. Minutes may feel like hours. Thoughts can feel layered or recursive. Some individuals describe feeling detached from their physical body or losing the normal boundary between themselves and the external world. This phenomenon is often referred to as ego dissolution or ego death. And while some people describe ego dissolution as deeply meaningful or transformative, for others it can be extremely frightening because the brain's normal sense of identity and grounding begins to weaken. Now, one of the reasons LSD experiences vary so dramatically is because the effects are highly dose dependent. Very small doses, around 5 to 20 micrograms, are often referred to as microdoses because they typically fall below the threshold of strong hallucinogenic effects. Advocates of microdosing claim it may improve creativity, focus, or mood, although the scientific evidence surrounding many of these claims is still limited and actively debated. As doses move into roughly the 25 to 100 microgram range, more obvious perceptual changes and visual distortions will begin to emerge, like the colors may appear more vivid, patterns may seem amplified, and emotional processing may become altered. At larger doses of roughly 100 to 150 micrograms, LSD becomes extremely powerful, and effects such as intense hallucinations, distorted time perception, emotional instability, paranoia, and even ego dissolution become significantly more likely. And it is important to understand that this is not an experience that can simply be turned off once it begins. And so essentially, you have to go along for the ride regardless if it's positive or negative. LSD and its metabolites can continue affecting the brain for roughly 12 hours or more depending on dose and individual physiology. Now, despite the fascination surrounding psychedelics, LSD does carry some real risks. One of the most important things to understand is that the environment and mental state of the user can strongly influence the experience. If someone enters the experience with fear, instability, emotional distress, or consumes LSD in a chaotic environment, the likelihood of a bad trip may increase significantly. A bad trip can involve overwhelming anxiety, panic, confusion, paranoia, emotional terror, or disturbing hallucinations. Some users become intensely fixated on death or feel as though they are losing their mind or physically dying. Others may engage in dangerous behaviors because their perception of reality has become severely distorted. And as far as overdosing on LSD, it is technically possible, but it would likely require an extremely high dose. Pure LSD appears to have a relatively low physiological toxicity, and most deaths associated with LSD are actually due to accidents, dangerous behavior, suicide during severe psychological distress, or situations where someone believed they were taking LSD but were actually consuming another substance. Now, even though deaths from LSD appear to be extremely rare, that does not mean the substance is harmless. LSD can increase heart rate, elevate blood pressure, produce nausea, sweating, dizziness, and agitation. More importantly, the psychological consequences can be profound. For some individuals, especially those predisposed to certain psychiatric conditions, LSD may contribute to prolonged psychological disturbances or even psychosis. This is one of the reasons why researchers emphasize the importance of controlled settings and careful screening of those that are involved in clinical psychedelic research. Because as we have learned, this is a very powerful substance. It profoundly alters sensory perception, emotional processing, and the conscious experience itself. And so it would be unwise to assume that it is completely harmless simply because fatal overdoses are rare. However, despite the risks surrounding LSD, researchers have become increasingly interested in whether psychedelics may also have therapeutic potential under carefully controlled conditions. Modern research has shown some promising results suggesting that psychedelics may help certain individuals suffering from conditions such as depression, PTSD, addiction, anxiety surrounding terminal illness, and grief. However, much of the strongest modern research has actually focused on compounds such as psilocybin rather than LSD itself. And this is partly because modern LSD research was heavily disrupted for decades due to legal restrictions, and partly because substances like psilocybin tend to produce shorter and often more manageable experiences in clinical settings. But one of the theories behind this therapeutic interest is that psychedelics, including LSD, may temporarily disrupt rigid patterns of thought, emotion, and behavior that can become deeply reinforced in certain psychological conditions. In other words, by profoundly altering perception and cognition, psychedelics may allow some individuals to process emotions, memories, and experiences in ways that may normally be difficult to access. Now, it is important to understand that this research is still ongoing, and LSD remains illegal in many countries, including the United States, outside of approved research settings. But there is no question that psychedelics as a whole are undergoing a major scientific reassessment, which may turn out to be very exciting for alternative forms of psychotherapy.